Coming to you this day from the third floor of the Rhode Island State House, my name is Dave Barber, and what we do before session is we grab a few members of the General Assembly and see if they'll take 5 minutes and talk to us about some of the things they've been working on. It gives me a great deal of pleasure to welcome a gentleman we've interviewed many times from the city of Providence, the Honorable State Representative Joe Almeida. Rep, it's good to see you, sir.
It's good to see you, sir.
And as we now have moved from February into March, I know you've worked on some legislation that was recently heard by HEW that deals with the teaching of black history in our public schools. Can you tell our viewers about that?
Well, what we wanted to do was let people know, other than just February and Martin Luther King, black history is every day. And so what we did was we asked for a study commission to ensure that Rhode Island black history and national black history would be put into the educational school system.
You know, one of the things that people of color tell me regarding Black History Month, which is always in February, is that public schools just kind of go through the motions. You know, they take, some of the most prominent people of African-American heritage, and they choose to single them out to talk about during Black History Month. But they really miss a lot of what's important, and maybe that's what you're driving at by trying to keep the focus going on daily.
That's exactly right. With this 15-member commission, which we will be able to push through the system as far as education, we'll get the word out about black history. But I really have to give a shout-out to Keith Stokes, who really reached out to the black community to get them to come downstairs and testify, and they came in full force because of the hard work of Keith Stokes. So we really appreciate that also.
We know for a fact that the whole concept of Black History Month came about because for so many years, people who contributed greatly to this society and to our government and our culture, people of color, were just completely omitted. They were talked about, period. And finally, we put the spotlight on it. I always found it a little sadly ironic that of all the months of the year they picked, they happened to pick the month that was the shortest, February, for Black History Month. And I thought, how could that have possibly have ever happened?
Well, we know February is also the month of love, and the civil rights agenda is also based on love. So we're glad that at least we have a month, and other ethnic groups have always constantly pushed their education, their history through the school system. So that's what we're trying to do, the same thing, get all of our history talked about, not just a certain segment of it.
So what's next for that group? What's next on the agenda? Where does the legislation now stand?
Well, now it has to go to the Senate. We believe we have the support there. And then after it comes back, we'll be on the House floor, and we'll get the vote. So we needed to pass it through.
I know in years past, Representative Almeida, you've always taken issue with our formal name of our state, state of Rhode Island and Providence Plantations. You believe that that's inappropriate by standards that we have today in our culture and really is misleading to people that may not know a lot about Rhode Island's history. Do you plan to ever revisit that topic again?
Someday we will. I think right now we got the attention. Actually, Providence Plantations, we got national attention on that name. Words, definitions change throughout the centuries, and the word plantations does have a negative impact upon the black community in Rhode Island. But right now we're going to be pushing the study commission on black history through Rhode Island.
Again, I think that anything that you can do that can help create a dialogue and an awareness, not only with young people, but a lot of people that are watching the show right now that maybe didn't have the kind of comprehensive black history teaching when they were in public school. We're never too old to learn. And, maybe there can be a spillover effect for the entire state.
For the state of Rhode Island and for the rest of the country. There are other states that do this already. So Rhode Island would be on board and to spread the word of the great positive things, the good things that the black community does. Look, it's about young people knowing who they are, where they came from, and what they want to do, and they should be proud of that.
Well, listen, I want to thank you so much, Rep. Almeida, for taking time out of your schedule to visit with us today. And I know a lot of people will benefit if this legislation passes and goes forward. Thank you so much for taking time to talk with us.
And take your time to talk to me.
Hey, thanks a million. And we couldn't do it, of course, without you. Thanks for watching. For Capitol Spotlight, I'm Dave Barber.